Welcome to Art This and what might be the final season. John, how are you?
It might be. We'll talk more about that later. I'm John Modeff, and this is Stephen Middleton. This is the show about the work that makes art work. And we have two fantastic guests tonight. Tell us what's going to happen,
We do.
Stephen.
Very excited to have here on this program Scott Miller, hammer dulcimer player, and his son Elijah Miller to accompany him on guitar. Very excited.
Outstanding. And the way that's going to run is they'll play a tune. Stephen will chat with them about the work that makes art work. We'll hear another tune, we hope. And we're hoping they'll join us on the jam out of this show tonight.
That's right.
Stick around.
Stick around.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Art This. Very excited to have with us here Scott Miller and Elijah Miller. Thank you so much both for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Very excited. What was the name of that first tune you played there?
That first tune is called Candlelight Reel,
Okay.
and I wrote that tune. I wrote it in a hunting cabin in Texas, and it was freezing cold, and I was all alone, and the only light that I had was a candle. So, you know, it kind of sounds corny, but, you know, the light was kind of bouncing off the wall, and I kind of came up with that tune.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about this instrument. You don't see this instrument every day. What exactly is this instrument, and how did you get into playing it?
Well, it's called a hammered dulcimer. Now, it's not like a lap dulcimer that a lot of people think of, but this is a very ancient instrument, and it goes back to ancient Persia. And if you go online, you can look at, they call it a santur, and the tuning is a little different. But hammered dulcimers go back, we know, to the 1600s. There's actually sculptures of angels playing dulcimers. And I was working in a dulcimer shop in Gatlinburg, Tennessee when I was in college. And the owner had a hammered dulcimer, and I traded a mandolin for it. And
good
so I
trade.
played, yeah, it was a pretty good trade, but it was really heavy. It weighed about 50 pounds, literally. And so it's really hard to tune. I got this instrument from a guy in Texas at the time. His name's Russell Cook. He has a company called Masterworks Dulcimers. So this one weighs 10 pounds. He told me, he said, you know, if you'd start playing this, you'd get more work than playing guitar. And I was like, you know, whatever. But I booked myself that first year like on 20 Christmas jobs before I could play it. Like I learned enough tunes to make a demo, got all these gigs now, I'm like, well, now I got to learn how to play it. So, but it's really opened up a lot of doors that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So I've done a number of recordings. I've done a lot of session work in Nashville. I got to play with the Nashville Symphony during the Lord of the Rings suite.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool.
Right.
So the dulcimer, has opened up a lot of doors. It's a real unusual
Well,
instrument.
it's a very unique sound and very angelic, even.
Yeah.
Going back to that. And then we have here with you your son,
Yep, my
Elijah
youngest
Miller,
son. Yeah.
youngest son, and you are a
Freshman.
here.
Yeah.
You're a jazz studies major.
Yes, that's correct.
All right.
So,
You, Scott, have had a new album come out here
right.
in just the last few weeks. Talk a little bit
Right.
about that.
I have an album that came out on Green Hill Music in Nashville. It's called Mountain Frontier. Mountain Frontier is a trilogy. So we have Mountain Frontier, we have Mountain Frontier hymns that will be released April 3rd, and then we have Mountain Frontier Christmas, which was released this past Christmas.
How can people find that?
They can, you can go to Green Hill Music. You can find it, you can download it from iTunes, and then you can stream it on Apple Music, Spotify, all of your streaming platforms.
And if people would like to find out more about what you're doing here, how could they find you? On social media?
Yeah, you can check that out on Instagram, and it's Pinewood Music 2019.
Okay. And then you also play in a band.
I do. I have a band back home in Ashland, Kentucky called the Goodfellas. So we're kind of a jazz and funk based group. So we do kind of a variety of stuff back home. So we have a lot of social media and stuff as well. So you can find us at the Goodfellas band on Instagram and Facebook.
All right.
So
How about you play one more for us?
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
We're going to play an Irish tune,
Okay.
Swallowtail Jig.
All right. Well, folks, we'll be right back with one more song from Scott and Elijah Miller. Welcome back to Art This. Thank you so much, Scott and Elijah Miller. Amazing stuff here. Check out Mountain Frontier. Go to all the places we mentioned before. And once again, check out Elijah and his band, the Goodfellas. And John, what do you think?
I think this was a great first show of the season. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And we have an exciting thing on the plate for next time. Painter Joe Sartor is coming over to tell us how he does the amazing things he does on canvas. It's indescribable.
That's right.
So it's a good thing he's coming in.
That's right.
All right, so that's going to happen. What we'd like to do now is wonder if you fellows would play something we can jam along
Absolutely.
with so we can roll our credits and get on
Sure.
home.
Absolutely.
Thank you.